It really comes down to what is the most plausible reading of these texts. If you found an isolated culture living on a desert island, a culture that had not been influenced by any of the world's religions, and you converted them to one by simply giving it the literature of this religion, right? And you ran this experiment, say, with Islam, and you gave it the Hadith and the Koran and the biography of Mohammed, and you said, these are the most important books ever written. This is God's law to be implemented on earth. The most important thing you can possibly do with your life is understand these books and live by their lights. And then you went away and came back in 1,000 years, and these people were living like the Taliban or the Islamic State. These people were forcing their women to live in cloth bags and beating them or killing them if they tried to get out. These people were putting homosexuals to death. These people had found another culture of nonbelievers, and they were taking them as slaves. These people were crucifying children or cutting the hands off of thieves. Or these are things that are happening right now in Iraq and Syria. If you came back and discovered that, you would be given no basis for surprise whatsoever, right? That is a terrifying reality that we have to deal with, because these behaviors can be gleaned from a totally plausible reading of these Islamic texts. Now, if you gave them the Pali Canon, the scripture of Theravada Buddhism, and you came back in 1,000 years and these people were living like ISIS, it would be a total surprise, right? And there would be no way to draw a line from the text to their behavior that would make any sense. And that's why, for the most part, you never see Buddhists behaving in precisely these ways. Now, it's not that Buddhists never are motivated by religious tribalism. In fact, there are Buddhists now in Myanmar who are killing the Rohingya Muslims, and that's clearly a sectarian religious conflict. But it makes a difference that there is no scriptural or theological basis for that conflict. It would be worse, far worse, if at some point in his teaching career, the Buddha sat down and gave a sermon on how anyone who kills a Muslim will go straight to the highest heaven. That would be worse. And then you would expect Buddhists through the ages to be able to point to that sermon and use it as an impetus for their sectarian violence. So I think we have to distinguish between mere religious tribalism, right? Just the fact that societies break down reliably along sectarian lines, and that amplifies human conflict. That is a general problem. And we have to distinguish between that and the link between specific religious doctrines and certain sorts of violence and self-sacrifice that would otherwise be unthinkable.